Well, howdy there, Internet people, it's Belle again. So today, we're going to talk about Trump's tariffs being ruled unlawful. So the U.S. Court of Appeals for the Federal Circuit in Washington, D.C. has determined that most of Trump's tariffs are unlawful. Specifically, they were focusing on what he called the reciprocal tariffs. To implement them and get around the constitutional delegation of power to Congress, Trump relied on the International Emergency Economic Powers Act. In a split 7-4 decision, the court determined, quote, "The statute bestows significant authority on the president to undertake a number of actions in response to a declared national emergency. But none of these actions explicitly include the power to impose tariffs, duties, or the like, or the power to tax." The ruling continued. Whenever Congress intends to delegate to the president the authority to impose tariffs, it does so explicitly, either by using unequivocal terms like tariff and duty, or via an overall structure which makes clear that Congress is referring to tariffs. The tariffs Trump implemented have created a trade situation that has alienated our allies, sent inflation creeping up, and instituted the highest taxes of their kind since, well, the Great Depression. Trump was his usual self when responding to the news. Quote, "All tariffs are still in effect. Today, a highly partisan appeals court incorrectly said that our tariffs should be removed. But they know the United States of America will win in the end. If these tariffs went away, it would be a total disaster for the country. It would make us financially weak, and we have to be strong. The USA will no longer tolerate enormous trade deficits and unfair tariffs and non-tariff trade barriers imposed by other countries, friend or foe, that undermine our manufacturers, farmers, and everyone else. If allowed to stand, this decision would literally destroy the United States of America. At the start of this Labor Day weekend, we should all remember that tariffs are the best tool to help our workers and support companies that produce great made-in-America products." That's quite the statement. If the removal of tariffs implemented just a few months ago would literally destroy the United States of America, they probably shouldn't have been implemented in the first place. It's worth noting that ongoing trade deficits probably don't qualify as an emergency. So, what happens from here? Well, the ruling will not take effect until October 14th. That's to give Trump enough time to take his tariffs to the Supreme Court. Of course, the court has shown Trump a lot of favoritism. But at this point, the tariffs are continually being ruled against by lower courts. So, the tariffs have been ruled unlawful, but are still in effect, and we won't get a clear decision until the Supreme Court makes a move on the case. Financial advisors seem to believe that nothing is going to change between now and then, and caution that Trump has other methods to implement tariffs. At some point in the future, we probably need Congress to reel in the vague emergency authorizations the presidency has. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.